This is Coffee with God, and let us begin this day with the Word of God.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark, chapter 6, verses 17 to 29. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Herod was the one who had ordered the arrest of John, put him in chains, and sent him to prison at the nagging of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife. For John had provoked Herod by naming his relationship with Herodias adultery. Herodias, smothering with hate, wanted to kill him, but didn't dare because Herod was in awe of John, convinced that he was a holy man. He gave him special treatment. Whenever he listens to him, he was miserable with guilt. And yet, he couldn't stay away. Something in John kept pulling him back. But a pretentious day arrived when Herod threw a birthday party, inviting all the brass and blue bloods in Galilee. Herodias' daughter entered the banquet hall and danced with the guests. She charms Herod and the guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask me anything, I will give anything you want." Carried away, he kept on, "I swear I will split my kingdom with you if you say so." She went back to her mother and said, "What should I ask for?" "Ask for the head of John the Baptizer." Excited, she ran back to the king and said, "I want the head of John the Baptizer served up on a platter, and I want it now." That sobered the king up fast, but unwillingly to lose face with his guests, he caved in and let her have her wish. The king sent the executioner off to the prison with orders to bring back John's head. He went, cut off John's head, brought it back on a platter, and presented it to the girl, who gave it to her mother. When John's disciples heard about this, they came and got the body and gave it a decent burial. The Gospel of the Lord.
Let us now listen to a reflection on this passage by a Claretian missionary, Father Johnson Thurakil. Today is the memorial of the Passion of St. John the Baptist, and we reflect on preferring death to falsehood. To the prophet Jeremiah, God said, "Be not crushed on their account." Instead, he is asked to stand up and speak out, and God's power will not let them overcome him. Likewise, John appeared in the desert. His was a voice of truth and an invitation to conversion. True to his prophetic call, he was not afraid of those who would crush his voice of truth, but reached his voice even to the doors of the king. He wouldn't let even the powerful to squash God's law in their own way. Paying with life, he upheld God's law and truth. Some reasons for John's immutable convictions are lessons for us. John grew up in the desert and assimilated a spirituality of desert. It made him a man of depth, integrity, and courage. His very life gave testimony to his prophetic call as a man of profound prayer, an ascetic, and one convinced of his mission. It was possible to imprison only his physical body because he enjoyed endless freedom of the spirit and truth. No wonder he preferred death to falsehood. Jesus, in fact, acclaimed him as the greatest man who ever lived. It was a sad irony that such a man should meet his death because of the whim of a drunken tyrant Herod. Power gradually uproots from the mind every humane and gentle virtue, wrote Edmund Burke. The irony is that Herod had power, but he was afraid. He had the authority, but no choices. John, on the other hand, was in prison, but he was free. He was in chain, but he had choices. Here are we today, thousands of years later and thousands of miles away, remembering the greatness of John the Baptist. Each one of us in this world has a mission to fulfill. Some of us recognize it early and act accordingly, and some of us would not recognize and fail to achieve it. It took much courage to do something new and different. Take forward and accomplish as John and Jesus did. Some of us compromise our values or moral standard because of fear of either confrontation or abandonment. A person can weigh between distancing oneself from temptations or staying close for comfort. Taking God and one's faith seriously and choosing holiness far outweighs any good or pleasure is the way John the Baptist courageously walked, and at the same time the challenge he throws to the people of our time. Truth is alive in John's death. The one who wields the power of truth is the one powerful indeed.